Compute is becoming capital. I think we're looking at compute the wrong way. Most of the conversation right now is about GPS. How many H100s exist? How many B200s can NVIDIA ship? What does an hour of GPU time cost? And now we're starting to see something even more interesting, futures markets being built around the price of compute. CME and ICE are moving toward compute derivatives. That matters. But I don't think derivatives are the main story. They're a symptom of something much bigger. Compute is becoming capital. I'm Jason Wade. I'm the founder of BackTier, and I spend most of my time thinking about the infrastructure underneath AI systems, how they discover information, how they make decisions, and increasingly, the economics that determine what those systems can afford to do. Here's the idea. Think about the AI economy as a four-layer capital stack. At the bottom is infrastructure, electricity, generation, transmission, land, and grid interconnection. Then facilities, the data center itself, cooling, networking, and power delivery. Then hardware, GPU fleets, clusters, and the interconnect fabric. And finally, intelligence, inference capacity, agents, model services, and AI applications. Today, we mostly treat those things as costs. But finance has a habit of turning predictable productive assets into financial assets. A power plant produces electricity, a pipeline produces transportation capacity, a mine produces commodities, and a data center produces compute. Once the output becomes predictable enough, finance knows what to do next. You sign long-term contracts. Those contracts create predictable revenue. Predictable revenue becomes collateral. Collateral supports debt. Debt finances more infrastructure. And the cycle repeats. GPU fleet, future compute production, forward contract, collateral, loan, more GPS. At that point, the data center starts financing itself. We can already see pieces of this emerging. Companies like CoreWeave report enormous contracted backlogs. Microsoft has disclosed long-duration Azure commitments. AWS sells reserved capacity blocks. Those aren't just cloud products. They're early forms of contracted future compute production. And once the market can reliably value those contracts, banks can lend against them. That's when compute treasury becomes a real corporate function. Companies already have energy treasury desks, airlines hedge fuel, multinationals hedge currency. Large AI companies are going to have people whose job is to manage compute exposure. How much capacity do we need? At what price? In which region? On which hardware generation? For how long? What happens if rental prices spike? What happens if the hardware becomes obsolete 6 months faster than expected? That's Treasury. And derivatives are simply one of the tools that Treasury Department will use. There's another important problem the market still has to solve. What exactly is 1 unit of compute? An H100 hour isn't really a commodity. 2 H100 hours can deliver very different economic value depending on networking, memory, software stack, region, reliability, and workload. So eventually, I don't think the market settles on the GPU itself as the ultimate commodity unit. The market actually